Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the Bangers, Bops, and Banter podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joe. I'm with my co-host, Brendan.
I'm the co-host, Brendan.
Whoa!
Wow.
And we got a cool little show episode coming up. Um, Firstly, we're gonna go over some music and movie news. Uh, Afterwards, we were originally going to do what was it?
The Beastie
Beastie
Boys,
Boys,
Licensed to
License to
Ill.
Ill. But we changed that as we realized we didn't have any guests for this episode. To something, we changed it to something more out there, not friendly, I guess.
Yeah, very not
Um,
friendly.
so our choice for this episode was 69 Love Songs by Magnetic Fields. And similarly, we changed the movie. It was originally going to be Melvin Goes to Dinner.
Yeah. Did you even
Um,
see Melvin Goes to Dinner?
I didn't.
Okay, that's fine.
But we changed it to Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
Or was it La
La
Planète
Planète Sauvage,
Sauvage?
I think.
It's
Neither of
kind of
us
weird that
took French, so we're going to butcher it.
yeah, it's kind of weird they didn't just like directly translate it because the original title is like The Wild Planet.
Yeah.
It's just weird they didn't directly translate that.
I don't.
But
Yeah, it's weird.
anyways,
Whatever. We'll talk about that later.
let's get into some music and movie news. First up, Yeasayer, who are like a indie rock band, I think, if I remember.
I've not heard of them until this news story appeared, so yeah.
So a while ago, they said they're going to be suing The Weeknd over the single "Pray for Me" off of the Black Panther soundtrack.
Oh, this. Yeah.
Saying it took from their 2007 song "Sunrise." And that they have dropped that lawsuit. I don't
Okay.
actually remember if it was specifically the band. Um, I don't remember if it was the band that was doing it or maybe it was someone on behalf of the band, because
Uh,
sometimes that happens where the
yeah.
studio's just like, hey, this song sounds like this other song, let's sue them, without like the band being necessarily consulted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the actual situation about that is. But they have dismissed their lawsuit against The Weeknd.
Wow.
The Yeasayer apparently confirmed to their satisfaction that no copyright infringement occurred. So this is good to see.
Glad people are satisfied.
I'm glad people can stop fucking suing other musicians over songs sounding kind of the same.
No, dude, they have the same chord progression. They stole my song.
Literally, it's happened before. The Katy
Yeah.
Perry lawsuit, it literally didn't have the same chord progression, just sounded kind of similar. Just one part of the song, and they got
I hate the
it.
fact that they ruled in
It's
favor in that lawsuit is just such a bad precedent. I was very
yeah,
disappointed.
and I mean, one of the things is whenever companies sue other artists, they specifically ask for like jury trials,
Yeah.
so they can basically con the jury into giving them what they want,
Yep.
which is pretty bullshit. But yeah. Next up, this is probably already pretty big news, but just to mention it, Juice WRLD's posthumous album, Legends Never Die, has dropped.
Yeah.
I have not listened to it.
I have.
You have, okay. What are
I
your
can speak
thoughts on it?
on it. I guess I actually quite enjoy this album.
Really?
Um, there are certain points where because it's a posthumous album, it feels a bit pandering.
Mm,
Which is probably my biggest part about that. I didn't look into the background of it. I have no idea when these songs were recorded. It does feel like a complete Juice World album, though. I'll give them that. It's not
mm.
like they're just not filling in holes with features and stuff like that. But It does. I mean, it's probably some of Juice World's like best songwriting like to date. So
Okay, that's good to hear.
yeah, I certainly enjoyed it. It's just that there are points where it just feels a bit
Awkward, I
calculated
assume.
because
Okay,
of
okay,
because of his death. Unfortunately,
okay.
I feel like I would enjoy it more if he had dropped this and he was still alive because
Hmm.
I don't know. It's still a good project. I'd still recommend it and check it out. It's certainly
Hmm.
interesting to hear, but yeah, it's I can't say I was really expecting a posthumous Juice World album, uh, considering he had died decently soon after he had dropped Goodbye and Good Riddance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is that what it's called?
No, Death Race to Love. That was
Death
called.
Race. Yeah.
Um, but I guess they had material, so
Yeah.
used it.
Cool. All right. Next up, Live Nation is being sued for race and gender discrimination by a furloughed executive. Um.
Haha, fuck Live
Uh,
Nation.
yes, actually, fuck Live Nation. They can go fuck themselves. They're fucking garbage. They're a garbage company.
Yes, they are.
Um. um. The executive in question, Candace Newman, alleged that she faced uh, retaliation in a toxic work environment for complaining about workplace discrimination, and cited a larger culture of retaliation against other employees who do the same. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this
Hmm.
lawsuit. Um, but like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really going to disbelieve her,
Yeah,
considering it's Live Nation and they suck ass. So
pretty much. Like when you have the company reputation that Live Nation has, somebody says this shit about you, it's like, you know, you can see it very easily.
yeah, definitely. Um, and finally, in music news, Lady A, formerly Lady Antebellum, are officially suing uh the blues singer Lady A. Um, I believe what happened is Lady A, the blues singer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the blues singer Lady A and Lady Antebellum Lady Antebellum.
No, but they're Lady
Basically
A now,
Lady A,
Joe.
um, Lady A asked for like 10 million in payment.
That's a lot.
Um, it is. I do think um it is definitely a lot. I know that Lady Antebellum
Yeah,
do have
I'm sure they have 10
um
million. They're not a small band. You know, they hit the
or
pop
well
charts and
no
stuff like that.
what is it? They are suing because Lady A had asked for 10 million. Um,
Yeah.
I believe they claim that basically they've used the name during tour. They had apparently previously applied to register. Um, I believe they previously applied to register the name prior to 2020.
Hmm.
Um, that being, or and basically they claim that since Lady A hadn't challenged their trademark, um,
She has no
or
she has no
use of it,
justification to challenge it now, right?
yes. I I guess I'm not that familiar with Lady Antebellum. I don't know if they've used it on merch or anything. Um, it doesn't look like it. Oh, it does say um the sale of souvenir merchandise. Um, I don't know how much outside of a legal thing. I don't know how much I agree with that because simply touring with that as like part of your banner or something, I think is a lot different than going by the name. Does that make sense? Because
No,
like
yeah, I get what you're saying.
if you Google Lady A, before you almost certainly just got the blues singer, or got at least some stories involving her. Whereas
Probably.
now, I think she could very easily argue that by them changing their name to that, it will like basically drown her.
Hmm.
If that makes sense. And I mean, I don't know. There's just like other names you could use. Lady A, I guess, is my other thing. Like you just change it to like, I don't know, Lady Anne or something. I don't know.
Lady Ant. Just Ant, actually.
Ant.
uh,
um.
oh no, I think the blues singer Lady A, I think she has a point that like them changing their name will cost her financially. I think
hmm,
she should have asked for less than $10 million though.
Yeah,
I don't know. This way she gets her name in the news though, and she does get those clicks. So
that is true. Definitely.
we will
All
see.
right. Moving on to movie news. Train to Busan. There's a release. There's a sequel release date for it. Um, what is it called? Peninsula, I believe.
Okay, why not
Train
train
to
to like a
Busan.
little bit beyond
Well,
Busan?
the title is Train to Busan presents Peninsula. So really, seems like
Wait,
a weird name.
no, that doesn't sound right. That
That's
sounds
literally what
strange.
the name is. Yeah, I don't know. There's a
I don't
bad
know about
name.
that one.
But it's going to premiere in theaters, 150 theaters across the U.S. and Canada on August 7th.
Good
Uh,
luck with that.
so like if you like Train to Busan and you're okay with maybe catching COVID,
It's just like a Train to Busan. I mean, it's a
yeah,
zombie movie. Zombie movies are just COVID movies, but like a little different.
this guy. I mean, not really, but like sure.
No, definitely. You think they're gonna
Um,
make COVID movies one day?
they kind of already have. There's
I mean, there's like
Contagion.
pandemic and stuff like that, I guess.
Well, there's
Contagion.
Contagion, which is like a very like it seems like a very scientifically accurate depiction of like admittedly a much deadlier disease like spreading
Yeah,
over the nation and like the consequences of it. But yeah. Um I mean like there's probably gonna be something. Someone's gonna capitalize on it.
definitely. Just like people capitalized on 2012.
Yeah, yo. I mean that
Such a good movie.
2012 movie,
2012 Doomsday, though,
it's
that's where it's at.
2012 Doomsday, amazing. But 2012, directed by Roland Emmerich, my favorite director,
You're just
was
bashing on
directed.
Roland Emmerich recently.
I can't. I mean, I watched Independence Day and I hated it. So
That's
like,
fair. Like, I can't like say he's made good movies, but like,
I may be a bit harsh.
it's okay.
Um, the Netflix is going to adapt the Stephen King short story Mr. Harrigan's Phone as a feature film. I don't know what the story's about, so I just thought it was interesting. That they're adapting another Stephen King thing. I'm pretty sure they've done one in the past.
Uh,
Um, I forget what it's called. But you know, from what I heard, it was okay. So
that sounds like a Netflix adaptation.
yeah, that's like most Netflix things. Like it's okay. You have a couple standouts, and then you just have like a bunch of shit. This is basically it.
I guess, yeah.
Um,
But like, have you seen Bright though?
Yo, Bright. What a
Bright.
great movie. I love the part. I love how many different races there are on Bright. There's orcs, elves, humans, Mexicans. Um, yeah,
Pretty much.
Mexican. They're just like separate. Don't worry.
They literally are though. Like characterization of them, they're different,
Yeah.
which is not racist, definitely.
It's I don't know if it's racist. It's just really like
It's
they
really
didn't think
weird
about it.
though.
They didn't think about anything in that movie at all.
No.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if like Will Smith didn't have a script and was just like improvising the entire time.
he's funny man Will Smith. All right.
Just like put him on set and it'll work, man. He's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Did you see him in Suicide Squad?
Yo, in Aladdin though, they animated around his improv, dude.
They, yeah,
I don't actually know if they did that,
they did it for
but
Robin Williams. I know that.
yeah. And Will Smith is not Robin Williams.
He's really not.
All right. Finally, movie news. I just thought this was kind of cool. There's a Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set announced. With all 16 films.
You gonna get it? How much does it cost? Like
No,
$200?
I don't know actually. Does it say? It actually has like a bunch of stuff.
Does it have
There's a
Freddy versus
bunch.
Jason?
It does. It has literally all of them,
Okay,
including
okay.
like the Michael Bay remakes or whatever.
Well, Freddy versus Jason is the only one that matters. So,
Well, let's see. There's 14. I'm sorry.
oh, okay.
Um, and there's bonus discs with interviews and like documentaries. It looks like
All right.
this is a man. This actually looks like a pretty good package if you like Friday the 13th movies. But
Yeah, all
yeah,
14 of them.
all of them. They're all good for
I
sure.
know.
Definitely.
They really had a 14 movie streak right there of just
Yeah.
gold.
I mean, Freddy versus Jason is amazing.
It
Like,
in its own way,
absolutely.
it's amazing.
It's so, I don't know, that movie's like ridiculously fun. But yeah. Wow.
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 Yeah, that's pretty much it for music and movie news.
The world
Yeah,
is changing all the time with
all the
things like
time.
Lady Antebellum and Friday the 13th.
Yes.
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 Thank you, world.
All right. Well, do you want to go and get to our album of the week?
Okay, yeah, we probably should spend some time on this one, huh?
So, 69 Love Songs by Magnetic Fields has 69 songs in it. And it's
69
like
is the
3
sex
hours.
number. We did it. We got the joke in there. Okay.
It's the sex
It's
number,
the sex
yo.
number. Okay, we never have to discuss the sex number again.
It has to be like an achievement. Like
What?
on like God like secretly put achievements hidden throughout Earth, and one of them is to 69 while listening to 69 love songs.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah. You think we could help each other out with that?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Good,
It'll
good.
take a while. We have to wait for this whole thing to be the pandemic to be over. But
Give it 69 days from now. I think we'll be good.
ooh, ooh,
Ooh. Speaking of which, this album came out in 1969, like plus or minus 30 years. So they're right on there too.
that's that's pretty close.
Yeah,
That's it's only 30 years off. All
it's
right.
only 30 years off. Just flip the six, and then it's the year. They were just thinking ahead on that one, I think.
Perfect.
Yes. Anyways, we should actually talk about the music and stop making jokes
Yeah.
about the number.
So, this is like it's basically a giant album. I mean, it's a giant album of love songs. Um, I think this is a very unique album because there's a lot of albums that are like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. But usually with like a Swans album, there's like 15 songs,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are like 10 to 20 minutes long.
No. There's like one song on
But
here that's longer than 5 minutes.
yeah, there's literally one on this album. I mean, there are literally 69 songs, and all of them are like like 2 to 3 minutes
2 to 3 minutes,
about.
yeah. They're pop
Some of them get
songs for the
closer to
most
4,
part. So
but generally they're like 2 to 3 minutes long.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah, it's very interesting in how it's definitely a lot different than other long albums
no, yeah.
in that respect.
It's because like the long albums you usually see that they're pretty
Brendan,
compositionally
you're muted.
intense.
You're not unmuted.
What?
You're muted on Discord.
I'm muted on Discord. Okay, the audio is gonna be a little bit weird because I was not muted on my end. I was trying to figure that out. Press the wrong mute
Okay.
button. Anyways, so it's a little bit weird because like with stuff like Swans, it's a very compositionally intense album,
Yeah.
but here it is not. You know,
These are most of these are like folk songs, although there's
they call it like
a
indie
lot.
pop, I guess.
Folk, I guess. Indie pop, indie folk. It goes through a bunch of different
Yeah,
genres.
there are times
And
where they
then
dip into other things.
there's like dance music in here, I guess.
Yeah,
And
there's
like
dance. There's
one
this
song that
one
sound
jazzy song.
yeah, there's one song that sounds kind of new wavy.
Mm-hmm.
Um there's like some more like electric guitar heavy songs that are kind of like there's some songs in here that I describe as like western sounding.
Yeah, almost country-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some songs that I would say definitely are country. Like Papa Was a Rodeo is like that's a country song.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um and that I think is what helps this album not feel it feels I guess
not
when you
feel
have
mind-numbing. I want to say.
yeah, when you have an album that's this long, if you're not doing long compositions, it's very easy to just get like the same song over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, but that's really not the case on this. Like I feel like despite stylistically being generally similar, they all feel unique enough, so you're never really bored while listening to it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's
Um,
a lot of these songs they do somehow in their own way stand apart from the rest. Like there is 69 of them. There's a lot, but most of these, just looking at the titles, I can remember that song off the top of my head because
yeah.
they have a way of distinguishing themselves.
Um, and also there's like 3 singers on this album. There's 2 main singers.
Yeah,
I believe I
I
don't know
didn't write
the
down their
band member
names.
names. I don't have the names with me. I believe it's 3 singers. It might be the whole band sings on different songs.
It's quite
Um,
possible.
but that also gives a lot of variety throughout the album. As well as um, I guess the album is feels very stylistically varied, but also very stylistically consistent. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
everything
they're all
feels
centered around love, and they have
yes,
that thread constantly going through.
but nothing on this album feels out of place. Basically,
No. Well,
um,
there's like one song. There's a couple songs I'd argue maybe.
these kind of songs.
I'm gonna say this. Punk Love. I hate that song.
Punk Love is probably one of my least favorites on the album.
Uh,
Um,
I just this song. Ugh, not not my thing at
it's
all.
kind of
It it's not punk for one, and it, they're just it just sounds like garbage. It just sounds like
damn.
somebody. It sounds like somebody who's like out of touch, trying to
I don't know.
be punk.
I don't know. It feels. It's just like it's very hyperactive and fast. No, I think it's kind of catchy. I don't think it's probably one of my least enjoyed tracks, but I don't hate it or anything.
I guess.
It's got like a kind of weird. It's just a very weird, interesting like sound to it. Um, very, again, hyperactive sounding.
That's true.
Um,
Unlike, we're gonna separate this into discs. Each disc is 23 songs. I think that would just make things easier. On each disc, there's one song that is like some genre love. The first disc has punk love. The second disc has love is like jazz. Um,
yeah,
which I will say I like love is like jazz. It has some good lyrics, but then there's this one lyric where he says that jazz is the same song a million different ways, and I'm like, no, not jazz. And the third disc has experimental music love, which is another one of my least favorite songs because they just put some like reverb and echo on saying experimental music love, and that's the song.
I don't know. I don't really. It's more like an interlude
I
that just kind
suppose.
of happens. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It doesn't take away from the album for me.
It's just
It's
like
kind of like, eh.
it's really out of place, I feel.
Hmm. Right.
But
Um.
yeah, that's what that was.
uh,
That was just my rant off of Punk Love.
Damn. Brendan hates this album.
I
0
hate
out of
Punk
10 for
Love.
me. um. I guess despite how many songs there are, I think it's pretty consistently. At least for me, I think it's consistently really good. Is the thing.
Yes, I
Um.
agree.
And I think also it covers a lot of emotions really well.
Yeah,
Um,
because they're all about love in some way, but there's some songs where they're deep in love, where the love has gone away,
Mhm.
where it's hurt them, stuff like that. So
the,
it's
I'm,
there's a wide variety here.
I mean, the song is like "The One You Really Love," which is
Hmm.
really depressing. Which is
Very.
basically uh, the like the girl who the singer's in a relationship with is like really depressed because her previous lover died,
Yep.
and that she still like loves them. Um, but then you have songs like what is it? Uh, where is it? Um, I can't find the song. Uh-oh.
There's 69 of them. You can narrow it
There's a
down.
lot. This is gonna take a while. What is it? It's one. Where is it? It's about dancing.
Nothing matters when we're dancing.
Yes,
I
that's it.
love that
Okay.
song. That's probably like one of
Um,
my favorite songs off the entire album.
yes. Um, where is it? What disc is it on?
Track 21, disc one.
Track disc one. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have songs like um, and you have like songs like "Nothing Matters When We're Dancing," which are very um lovely like songs about just kind of like this infatuation, I guess, sort of.
Yeah.
Is and how like wonderful everything is when you just kind of forget about the rest of the world and focus on the other person.
Hmm. Like your surroundings don't matter, and
Yeah,
everything's just good.
yeah. Um, and I think it's able to approach all of these like a range of emotions very well. It never feels out of place when it switches to like something more sad,
No.
um, or more interesting. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to like
Oh,
go into
okay.
something.
You
I was
were
like,
going off. I didn't want to interrupt you. Uh,
I,
but I like a lot of stuff on this album, and being pop, I think it does quite a good job of creating catchy tunes.
Yeah.
I've been singing "Nothing Matters When We're Dancing" to myself for like the past week. Um, I love that song so much. It's so just pretty. It's a pretty song, just like
Yeah.
Cujo. But
Oh.
also like there's plenty of other just great and catchy songs. Luckiest Guy on the Lower East Side. I've also been singing to myself for a while. Um,
Mm.
I think I Need a New Heart. The One You Really Love, and that's like just disc one. Those are some highlights.
Mm.
There's plenty of songs
I
all over this album, which you know managed to be incredibly catchy and fun. Even
actually I
ones that are
really
somewhat depressing.
love the intro. Absolutely cuckoo.
Yeah.
It's very like it's very like I guess quick but rhythmic.
Yep.
And it's just like I don't know. It's super catchy and light. And it's just like a lot of these songs are just like very. I mean, a lot of the songs are super catchy, but they're also very like gorgeous sounding
Very.
a lot of the time. In a lot of them, it feels like in a very like I guess delicate way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with how a lot of them have kind of stripped back instrumentation. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
Especially when it gets into like the more emotional sides of things. For me, like I'd say probably the most uh, emotionally potent point on this album is the two songs "Papa Was a Radio" and "Epitaph from My Heart." Those two back to
mm,
back. Especially "Papa Was a Radio." I quite like that song. But those two songs are also quite bare as far as the instrumentation goes, which
yeah,
I think it really suits. There are some more fun and bouncy tracks, and the instrumentation follows along with that sort of that feeling. But here, when
yeah,
it's emotional, it follows along with that as well by being much more stripped back.
yeah,
But yeah, they made some just excellent choices on this album for the production choices. Um, you know, this there's a lot, but by the virtue of there just being a lot on this album, there's going to be a lot to like. I guess. I mean, it would be very difficult to create 69 songs and have them all be bad. I would be impressed,
yeah.
honestly, if somebody could do that. That's
Huge.
why
I
I'm hoping
mean,
that Corey Feldman comes through with a
I'm
covers
just,
version.
I'm just saying. Look, G-Eazy dropped a new album. He's got to have had 69 songs released at this point. Um,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna count now because I guarantee that like all of these songs are bad. I'm just gonna say.
What
All
about
right,
that one track he has with Halsey?
and
Is that
that's
you
still
know?
bad.
No. Okay.
26. I'm gonna add these up. All right, just to prove you wrong,
Do it.
to show how easy it is to make something to be
Okay, but
that
he
many
made
songs are
six.
bad.
He made those 69 songs over the past decade. These guys made them in like
That's
a year.
fair. That's true. Um,
He's been working at it. He's been trying.
I don't think that. All right, he's made over 69 songs, so that's
Boom.
like yes.
Good job.
So that just proves you wrong. So
I'm wrong. I don't have any good opinions.
there you
I'll
go.
stop talking now.
Um, yeah, no, I think it's definitely an achievement.
Oh yeah.
Like
The,
it's
the the pure
insane.
scope of this project is incredible, honestly.
Yeah. Um, for there to be like so much, and it's all like pretty much all of it is like enjoyable. Like I don't think
Yeah.
like look, if I'm going to a desert island, this is one of those, and I can only bring like 5 albums. This is one of the albums I bring just because there's so much of it, and there's so much quality
There
here.
is quite a bit of quality here. I will admit.
Um,
If you actually, it's funny if you go and read. It's like the how this album came about. He originally wanted to write 100 songs because he was like
Mm,
trying to get into the like theater music genre, cabaret, I guess.
mm,
Um, he was like, I want to get into this genre. I'm gonna write 100 songs in this genre. Um, and then he cut it down. I think very wisely to 69. It's a
yeah,
nice middle ground of 0 and 100.
yeah. Nice odd number.
Yep. Um, definitely doesn't have anything to do any significance whatsoever in pop culture.
Yeah, no, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. This album, I will say, is kind of hard to critique in a way, just because of how large it is. It's like my main problem with the album is just how long it is.
Yes. There's certainly I think what I what I would I appreciate that this project exists and I appreciate it is as long as it is. However, if I were to have it my way, you cut like a third to a half of these songs, and then you have like a 10 out of 10 album. I think,
Yeah, definitely.
um, because a lot of these songs are just that good, but
Yeah,
just like if you make 69 songs, some of it's got to be good. If you make 69 songs, some of it's got to be bad. Not
yeah,
it's not like bad, but it's just not as engaging as fun as the rest. Um,
yeah,
I think because of that's really what at the end of the day holds this project back is you got a lot of great stuff, but you also got some not so good stuff.
yeah. All right, are we pretty much? I don't know. I don't have that much more to say on it. It's just
I mean, I don't I don't say it's good. I can like go over track highlights, but I've mostly said it. Like,
yeah.
all the basic stuffs.
All right. Personally, is like an 8.5 around there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think maybe a 9. I think it's probably an 8.5 just because of how long it is, and it does it because compared to again like a Swans album where all of those tracks are like compositionally very long and drawn out, and the length adds a ton to those songs. The length takes away from this album as a whole,
Hmm.
compared to again a Swans album. But yeah,
Yeah. I'm at like a strong 8. Like I like it a lot and I appreciate it. I don't think I'll ever be. I highly doubt I'll really listen to it in full again.
yeah,
I'll probably just listen to, I'll take the tracks that I like and take those away with me rather than going back to the entire, 2 hour and 52-minute project. So, but it's
yeah,
still a very good project. I think definitely worth a
yeah,
listen if you have the time.
yeah. I don't know if you're going on a car trip, it's a good thing to put on.
Not bad.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
that does it for the album.
Yeah. The Magnetic Fields, 69 love songs.
69. Ooh, baby.
Oh, wow. We sure do love that number here at the Bop Stop.
Yeah. Look,
Wait, okay.
I can't.
So you know how like states and like countries and stuff, they have like a national animal and like a national whatever
Are
food
we gonna
stuff like
make a
that.
national
Can
number
we
have
can we have a national
69?
number be 69? Like,
Oh my god.
can you
Yes.
imagine?
It would be beautiful.
It would be beautiful. I want a national 69 day.
Yes.
Probably already exists somewhere.
This is an unofficial one somewhere for sure.
Oh yeah,
It's like the 69th day of the year, probably.
it's that. It's like first week in March, March 8th. No, February only has 28 days. Yeah, it's like March 12th or 13th or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like almost St. Patrick's Day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Anyways, uh, we watched a movie.
We watched a
We
movie.
watched a movie. This, um, So we watched Fantastic Planet.
Yes.
This was, let me pull up the details
It's
of
get you
Fantastic.
started. 1973 movie. Directed by
Anyway,
Rene Laloux. We're gonna butcher
uh,
all the names because they're all
yeah,
French.
this is
And
an animated movie. It's pretty short. It's only 72 minutes.
yeah,
Um, but basically, the movie is it's basically it takes. It's hard to describe.
but we'll
It
start with
takes.
this. It's an adaptation of a short story called On the Planet Igam, I think.
Mm,
Um, but they adapt the short story into animation. It starts off with we see I kind of want to describe like a lot of little things. I'm gonna throw this out here right now. I absolutely fucking love this movie so much. So I'm going to talk about a lot of the little things. You start off and you see this woman running, and she's running through all these like giant uh, flora and stuff like
are we
that.
just describing the movie, the
Yes,
plot of the movie
the
now?
movie. I'm gonna spoil the movie. Spoilers.
I
The movie
was
came out
just
in
gonna.
1973. I think it's a little late. It's been like 50 years. But like
It's
the what?
This is like not that many people have watched this movie.
That's true. Not that many people have watched this movie, but shame on you. Watch this movie. It's
What
great.
is Brendan? It's like an indie like animated film
I know.
from France. So
Yes.
like
It
it's
isn't French, by the
understandable that
way.
people haven't watched this movie. It's available on the Criterion channel, I should say.
And HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max,
It's
really?
on HBO Max.
Damn.
Um, but yeah. So, but like it starts out, and you start out and you see this woman running through this foliage, and like the music is syncing up perfectly with like that. And I love how I've seen this a lot in like older movies. And I don't see it as much in newer movies. How like, because they're older movies. Specifically, one of my favorite movies, Living There in the Castle of Cagliostro. It has this jazzy soundtrack, and the soundtrack like syncs up nearly perfectly with a lot of points in the movie, um, and that's in the music itself. But I don't like that doesn't happen. I feel as much these days. I don't know why because I love it so much. But I love that. I love the sound in this movie. I'm just gonna go off. Okay.
Just gonna
I love the sound in this movie. It sounds so good. The sound design is
the
incredible. All the effects. There's that one point where they're putting the collar on tear, and like the machine is just creating all these crazy sounds and all the
and it's
flashing
like
lights. The
flashing
visuals
lights.
are great as well. um, it looks so good. It sounds so good as well. Um, the
Those.
soundtrack is amazing. I want to
Do
throw
we
that
want to
out there.
explain the plot, Brendan? Do you want me to just like read a description of the plot
Sure,
quickly so
you can
people
do
kind of
that.
understand? So basically, on the planet Yigam, the
Yeah,
Drags, um, extremely technologically and spiritually advanced blue humanoids, consider the tiny Ohms, human beings, descendants of Terra's inhabitants, as ignorant animals. Those who live in slavery are treated as simple pets and used to entertain drag children. Those who live hidden in the hostile wilderness of the planet are periodically hunted and ruthlessly slaughtered as if they were vermin. And so the plot follows a boy who basically becomes a drag pet and then escapes to some other humans.
yeah, wild humans.
Yeah.
Uh, and then they
Um,
they go to space, and then that part we'll get to that part maybe. There's some
okay.
philosophical weirdness with that part. I feel.
Um,
But
I
yeah,
want the soundtrack to this movie is probably my favorite part. I
okay.
also want to mention that this is sampled by Flying Lotus on Flamigara. Like I actually should probably look that up to see if that's true. But like sir when I forget her name, but the drag like kid is like dressing up
Tiwa, yeah,
Tiwa when she's dressing up um the main character. that song, I'm like 90% sure is sampled on Black Balloon's Reprise.
Maybe I have not listened to Black Balloon's
Um,
Reprise enough,
um,
but it's quite possible. Knowing Flying Lotus, I could definitely see him being a fan of this movie.
yeah.
He's into that
He's
sci-fi.
definitely he's into a lot of. He's a pretty actually like movie knowledgeable guy.
Oh, that's cool.
So, um, I think he directed a movie. I'm not sure.
I didn't know that. I gotta watch this movie now. It's got Flying
um,
Lotus. Like, damn.
yes, it does. Black Balloon's Reprise samples the song Elaine Gora. I don't know
It's
how to pronounce the last word.
I gave up.
Um, off of the soundtrack. But yeah,
That's super cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
It also, I'd say the soundtrack does feel like it's inspired him as an artist because there's
definitely.
a lot of points that feel very similar to his music.
Yeah.
And it's just very weird and creative and really fantastic.
Definitely for the time. The just how unique each of these tracks sounds. Like
Mm,
there's the sort of chasing to start out, and the music is super fitting for that. But there's also times where they're just trekking through, a desert, and the music is again very fitting. That's a okay. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry, but like the I love the world that they're set in. This
Yeah,
movie does such a good job of show don't tell because there are like sequences of 10 15 minutes maybe where the movie doesn't really have any dialogue because there are points where they're just going through walking along this world and there's all these crazy creatures and plants and stuff like that
mm,
that you get to see and they all look really good, I will say. um, and you're just it's alien. It definitely is alien in like every sense of the word, and
yeah.
it's incredible how they managed to create that vibe, that feeling.
It has definitely some of the most like unique and interesting animation I've ever seen. It has
Yes.
like the way there's just so many like creatures that like they're so weird. It's hard to like figure out where the inspiration for them came from.
Hmm.
There's like the one scene where like the bird thing hatches and then gets eaten.
Yeah,
It's like giant. It's like big, like hippo creature almost.
sort of. It has like two legs and like a bird's back, sort of. It's weird. I
Yeah,
think like one scene that stuck with me is there's like this sort of elephant bird thing like in a cage and it has like a snout and then this
yeah,
fish
and
bird
it
lands in its on its snout and he just shakes it and kills it and then
kills it
lets it
and it's
go.
like and just like dies on the ground. And you
Yeah,
see like 20 more of them also on the ground,
yeah.
and you don't know why it's doing that or why the birds would continue to land there or anything. But
It's just
like
like
that's for me, that's definitely the best aspect is kind of being introduced to this alien world and not knowing,
exactly.
or it's so foreign and alien.
Like yeah, we
Um,
can't even like begin to understand like
um,
anything what's going on here. So
yeah.
it's super cool. Um, this uh uh I love this movie. It looks so good. It does so many good things. We can talk a little bit about like the morals of the movie. I guess I want to say that the
Mhm.
movie's central theme uh, is I interpret it as being about animal rights. You could
Yeah,
argue it's about racism. I was looking online, seeing like people's reactions to the movie, and I see the argument for racism. I definitely see the argument for animal control or animal rights like way more because
yeah,
the drags literally do treat the ohms or the humans like we humans treat uh,
like
pests,
rats
like
or something.
rats. Yeah, because there's that one point where the Ohms are living in this old abandoned park, and the drags come and they fumigate the park and kill
Yeah,
a bunch of them. And you know, to us, we're like they're human. They're just massacring humans, right? But
yeah,
we do that. We do the same exact thing, except we do it to rats and
yeah.
bugs and stuff like that. So um, I love. I think that message. I think they do a really good job of portraying that message.
Mm,
Because you're seeing it through the eyes of the humans, and the humans are, you know, the vermin in this situation.
yeah,
Where we don't. I feel like as a human, it's hard for us to take that perspective, and I feel like even if you get to the point where you can, very few people do because it's just it's not an appealing perspective to take. If one of us was to take the perspective of a rat when we exterminate pests in our house.
yo, Pixar is inspired by this movie. All right,
A Bug's Life.
Ratatouille. I was gonna say Ratatouille,
Oh,
but
Ratatouille. uh, I am Remy the rat from Ratatouille.
yes,
Um, but yeah, I love that portrayal of it, and I think really never if you never even tried to take that perspective of animal rights and stuff like that, and also not only getting to the extermination side of things, but also the um, keeping pets and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, I believe the movie does make the point where keeping pets can be interpreted as slavery, essentially. Um,
mm,
it doesn't press that as much, I feel, because our main character he's not like unhappy in his
yeah,
while he's a pet, but he's certainly not enjoying it, and he's not very willing. Uh,
yeah.
he runs away at the end, and there's certainly uh, patterns you can draw from that with slavery, but um, yeah, I definitely think the animal rights. It's all there, and I think they do a very good job of making those points and how we
Mm,
should perhaps be more take on a different perspective and be more mindful of how we treat other living beings and stuff like that.
yeah.
Sorry, I've been talking a lot.
Well, it's fine. Um, I definitely think I think my favorite parts of this movie are the weird elements, I guess.
Yes.
How foreign everything feels. I can totally see the slavery metaphor that you've brought it up, actually.
Okay.
With how everything is incredibly foreign to feel like you don't
Mm-hmm.
know
Because they at
anything.
the
You're brought
beginning
like
where they're saying the head master Sin, I guess his name is, where he's like they took him from the planet Terra, and
yeah,
they're sort of I interpreted it as that they're sort of an invasive species, but you could argue that they took them as pets back to
yeah.
Egam, and
Because I mean,
they were
there's also
slaves.
well, I was just thinking you also have these parts where the humans have the kind of built up civilization,
Hmm.
and then they're being exterminated, which feels similar to like
Yeah.
colonialism, and how that affected um like so many people.
Certainly.
Um, yeah,
And I want to say another point to that is specifically the point where they're being exterminated in the park. The drags have uh, humans on
other,
leashes,
yeah,
which certainly reminded me of slavery and hunting for having humans hunt humans.
yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, I've been jumping around a lot. Also, the way this movie treats, because I haven't fully. sort of grasped this yet, but the way um, the way that I kind of want to talk about the end here. Well, once they get to the wild planet and they see what the drag meditation is,
Yeah.
um, I don't fully understand what that's trying to be. It is certainly like just weird and alien what they're doing,
Yeah.
um, but it's I don't know. There's just like I feel like it's weird how this movie treats um, like sex because like the humans get scared when they go to the wild planet because the drags have this weird um, what's the word called reproduction
Ritual.
ritual. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like the humans themselves have this back on the planet. They also have this weird ritual where they eat glowy rocks on a full moon, and then
And
the
then
women take off their clothes and run into the woods, and then the men go after them. It's
it's
really
weird.
odd.
Yeah.
um, it's that part like reminded me of like fireflies, you know, because
Mm.
they're like glowing and
Yeah.
sex.
Sex time.
Sex time. Um, but yeah, I think also like the way this movie treats like censorship and stuff like that is interesting. Uh,
Censorship? I'm not.
well, like the fact that
Oh,
um,
the humans are just like naked a lot.
yeah, the fact that the humans, specifically during the sex ritual time, the fact like the humans are already practically wearing no clothes.
Yeah.
Um, but then they take like there's a point in the ceremony where just the women take off all their clothes, and they seem to be like they're ashamed of what little clothes they're taking off. And there's one point where Tear is getting dressed and he takes off his old clothes and he's covering himself up because
Yeah.
maybe he's just got a small penis. I don't know.
Oh, I assume part of it is just like they don't. They're fine. I assume part of it is cultural,
I guess.
where like in like Europe, it's probably more acceptable to show like women's breasts, but
Well,
not
yeah, especially it's
penises
fine.
and vaginas.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back and watch like Monty Python, and it's
Yeah.
they show breasts all the time, but only not like real person breasts. That's crossing the line. You have to show it in like an image or yeah, like a painting, stuff like that. That stuff's fine.
Ah. Mm,
I don't know. Censorship rules are weird. Anyways.
they are, man. We would know. We got booted off of the radio because we said too many swear words, even though it doesn't fucking matter.
But yeah. Um, no, it's super. Anyway, this movie is like just super interesting. I think
Yes, definitely.
there's a
I
lot to take away from it. Uh, one of my like probably my only problem with it, and it's like a very small problem, is I feel like the pacing of the movie is kind of weird.
mm,
Because there are points it never really slows down. I just kind of
yeah.
I wish there
It
were
would,
parts that I got to see more of because like there's times where there's a time where they're in the city, right? Well, okay, there's it pretty much jumps from the extermination at the park right to like the very end of the movie. I feel
mm,
you did get to see some bits. There's a part where the drags are like full out exterminating the humans. Gotta admit, I love the drag methods at the end of the movie for exterminating humans. You have
just like a giant.
snowball, vacuum
I
cleaner, light,
and
and
light.
beard trimmers.
I thought this like ball was like a bowling ball or something. Just
Oh,
like
I just think of like snowball because you
yes.
like roll a snowball down
Oh
a
yeah.
hill and it picks stuff up. But yeah, I just like when the snowball is just rolling over people. Like I admit, I laughed. But I don't know. I just feel like there's that jump there that
Hmm.
I guess I just wish we got to see more of the in between of like the humans building up their new civilization. I mean, the movie
Hmm.
is short and they're limited because this type of animation is super time consuming to make.
Yeah.
Um, and like in the amount of material that is in this movie, all of it's just great. I think
All right.
I just want
I
more.
think.
I just love it so
All right.
much.
I think my complaint is I wish the drag were more alien. If that makes
Yeah, I understand that.
I
And like
wish it was. I just wish it was kind of like almost incomprehensible
yeah,
to a human. Like they just had no fucking clue what was happening. Because to me, seeing it was just like, oh, they're just human. If that
yeah,
makes
they're like
sense.
human but a little bit
The way that
different.
they have could arguably be sort of part of the point. I think depending
Perhaps.
on how you look at it
Yeah.
or how you will interpret a lot of it. Um, because I can understand like the within like a slavery metaphor sort
Hmm.
of you get it makes sense that they're very human like.
Yeah, and like
Um,
the thing is their culture is alien, but they themselves
yeah,
aren't. Because like there's the point where they're just like eating a cloud. It's like yeah,
yeah,
man, just do that. And also the fucking um the imagination. Like they meditate and the little balls go off and do their thing.
yeah.
But there's a point where there's the four guys and they're imagining, I guess. And that I love that scene. That scene looks
Wait, the four
incredible.
guys imagining? Wait, which part
They're
was that?
sitting there and there's like a black little tendrils and they just meh to them and their bodies just like shift and morph together.
Oh yes, that is like
Yes.
really cool,
Oh,
interesting. Um,
like the first time I watched that movie and I saw that scene, that was just like it was like mind blowing. Honestly, it
yeah,
looks so cool and weird.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I totally get your point. I do wish
yeah.
because like they act
Just
incredibly
they
weird, but they
act very, or well, yeah. A lot of like the activities that specifically, Tifa, right? That's not her name.
Tiwa.
Tiwa. A lot of the activities she's doing, like she's dressing him up, and she's like, the
Yeah,
kids like make them fight and stuff,
yeah,
and like it feels very human. And I just wish, or like even like her learning, like it's in a kind of it's a very weird alien way, but she's still just learning.
yeah.
And I wish that aspect of the movie was more like the character had no idea what was happening, basically.
No,
Like
yeah.
it was just like this weird alien is doing things and they don't understand how to process it. Because I figured that's what it's like for pets
Mm-hmm.
to like see a human like watching TV. They probably have no fucking clue what's going on.
Dude, my cat, fucking biggest Downton Abbey fan I've ever known. Gonna be honest. No,
um,
but yeah, no, I totally get what you mean there. Cause yeah,
yeah,
they act like human children a lot of the time.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's yeah, it's still a really fantastic, great movie.
Yes. Oh, such a good movie.
Brendan, what would you give this movie?
Um. So yeah, I'm at like a 9.5 to a 10 on this movie. I've
Damn.
it looks so good. It sounds so good. I love nearly every part of it. Um, I'm really happy that
Mm.
we were able to watch it. And
All right.
yeah,
This is like an 8 out of 10 for me. I think there's
okay,
some fantastic information. I feel like some, again, I wish parts of it were, specifically the aliens, were even more weird and
yeah,
alien-like, personally. Um, I think that takes away a bit for me. But I still also, like, really appreciate how insane, like, weird and interesting
hmm
the animation and everything that happens in the movie is.
no, yeah, because
Um,
like I don't know, I feel like a lot of sci-fi movies when they have like aliens and stuff. Like I feel like Star Wars is pretty good about their aliens, but like there's
yeah,
some sci-fi movies where like the aliens are just like humans, but they have like big ears or
they're pink.
they're pink. Yeah.
Guardians of the
So that's
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. They're green. Also shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, the fact that like so much. There's so much creativity in this movie.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Well, that brings us to the end of the podcast, I guess. Um,
Sure
so next
does.
week, we got some guests coming on.
We do.
Uh, we got some suggestions from them. So
Yes.
the movie we'll be watching next week is Vanilla Sky. Um, let me quickly look
2001.
this up.
Cameron Crowe directing. Tom Cruise
Starring Tom Cruise. Yeah,
starring Tom Cruise. It's also got Kurt Russell in it, so there's that.
yeah. Oh, it's got Kurt Russell. All right,
Yeah.
I'm down. Kurt Russell's amazing.
And Tom Cruise
um,
isn't? Come on, have you
I
seen Mission Impossible Fallout?
he is like he's an action star. I don't know.
This isn't
It's
an
weird.
action movie though. Because like
Yeah,
back in the early 2000s, like late 90s, he wasn't really an action movie star. He was just like
I
he
mean,
was
he's
just an
still in
actor.
action movies, but
Yeah,
like
but like he
I don't know. He was in
was
like
he had a wider variety.
yeah, no. He was in like he has a weird career. He was in Magnolia and Eyes Wide Shut and just like a bunch of like weird shit.
Hmm.
Um, that really seems or it seems really weird considering his career now.
Which is just Mission
um,
Impossible. And also the Dark Universe with the Mummy. Ooh,
yes. Oh my God, The Mummy. It's the greatest film ever
dude.
made. Okay. The best
Yeah.
part of it is that trailer where they forgot to put a bunch of audio in, so it's just like Tom Cruise screaming. It's great.
It's so good.
Um, and then so our movie is Vanilla Sky, and our album is going to be In the Wee Small Hours by Frank Sinatra. It's a
Yeah.
1955 album.
Ooh.
Um, did you know Frank
Okay.
Sinatra was involved with the mob?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He wears a fedora. That's how you know.
I'm pretty sure. Also, I guess don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% on it, and I could be very wrong, and this would not it wouldn't be a good thing to get wrong. But I think that in The Godfather, the
Uh-huh.
opening where
Oh,
they
where they
get
have
the actor
yeah.
into a movie, I think that's based on Frank Sinatra
Oh.
getting into a movie.
I didn't know that. It's quite possible though.
Yeah,
His
don't
mob
quote me on that. I
affiliations are
could be
not
wrong.
they're not unknown. I'm sure our
Yeah.
special guest next week will remind us of that fact. I know it's one of his fun facts about Frank Sinatra. But yeah,
But yeah, and I guess we'll see everyone next week. Or well, you'll listen to us next week probably, but maybe not.
we'll see you